Good morning. I see some faces that I recognize from walkthroughs at EYC or meetings that I had with you prior to today. So welcome. It's really good to see you. I'm joined here by Miss Tiffany, and we'll get to the introductions in a second a bit more. But the purpose of this morning is just to really talk you through the basic induction things of this first week. We don't want to overwhelm you with too much information because there is a lot of information, but all that information you can really look at the induction booklet and familiarize yourself. And we'll also share these slides, and there's also some videos that we will share that you can really go through in your own time. I think we just want to cover what's necessary for this week and as we hit the ground running. Okay, so I am Mr. Etienne. I am the Deputy of Primary and overseeing EYC and Key Stage 1. And I'm joined by Ms. Tiffany. Tiffany.
Yep, good morning. Lovely to see you all. So I'm Ms. Tiffany. I have been working over in main campus in year 5. But I'm now going to be assistant head for EYC and Key Stage 1. So I'll be working with supporting year 1 and 2 as well. So it's lovely to meet you all this morning.
Because year 1 is at the EYC campus at the moment, we're going to start the session together, and then we're going to split into breakout rooms where Ms. Tiffany will talk about year 1 and I will talk about a little bit more about nursery and reception. Okay, so the format will be an introduction that we just did. We'll talk a little bit about homeschool partnership, EYC and the year 1 breakout rooms, as I just said, and then we will also be talking about how you can support transition at home, just to make sure that it runs smoothly for you, for your family and for your child. And then we'll go into a Q&A if you have any questions. So just so that you know, this session will be recorded, so you don't have to make copious notes. And also we will make that available to you on the parent portals for both Key Stage 1 as well as EYC. Right, moving on, homeschool partnerships. I mean, we know that both you as parents, as family, and we as the school only have your child's best interest at heart. And the way that we communicate with each other is incredibly important. We try to be as transparent as possible, and we expect the same from our parents, to deal with any issues that may come up as soon as possible, so that we don't waste time and that we can address it so that it's to the benefit of your child.
Well-being is one of our priorities, because we want, you know, as we can see, one of the most important things to being successful is being happy, feeling safe, having good relationships with the other students, with teachers. So we really put this, you know, this is one of our priorities. And we always, you know, we do work with parents and with teachers and students to make sure that we're always aware of this and always thinking about this. And as we say, you know, this triangle just shows at the bottom, one of the most important things is that, you know, children are getting enough food, water, and sleep. Sleep is very important. And, you know, throughout the day, we're making sure that children are drinking plenty of water, keeping hydrated, etc. We do, obviously, we play a high priority on safety. So whatever we do in school, we have very tight SOPs. We're always looking at how we can make sure that children are safe, and that's, you know, a lot of that is incorporated into our SOP for, you know, with social distancing and with COVID, etc. So we are making sure that our students are coming to school. We're doing temperature checks, we're sanitizing, they wear their masks, etc. And yeah, another priority is the way that we just put relationships. You know, it's very important that children are developing, you know, they've got strong relationships with their peers, positive and respectful. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. that we have mutual respect with the way that we as adults work with students. We have mutual respect with the way that we work with our parents as well. We really want our students to feel that they belong and that they are cared for, and we make sure that they feel that. And self-esteem, it's really important the children feel successful. They feel we really like them. It's really important for them to have high self-regard. So that again is a priority, and that we want them to do their best. So we will encourage them throughout everything that we do to reach their full potential, and that really is what Garden it underpins what we're about and what we strive to achieve through our learning and our day-to-day practice.
I can just add on here that we know that students only learn when they feel happy, safe, valued and supported. And I think this Maslow's hierarchy of needs kind of summarize those needs. And you will see, especially in the first 6 weeks of your child's time at GIS, that will be our focus. The academics can come later, the learning will come, but it's really important that we make sure that all of these things are in place and that the relationships are there before we can even start thinking about the learning. Right, you might have seen this visual as well in the induction booklet, but these are the kind of things that you will need this week just to help your child to be ready. So of course the uniform, which is the white polo t-shirt, and then the shorts for the boys and the skirt for the girls. Spare clothes, it's really important, especially in the early years, that children just please send a set of spare clothes, because they will be playing in the water, they will be getting dirty when they do picnics or something like that. So it's always good to have a pair of spare clothes handy. And then also a water bottle. Please make sure that it's labeled with your child's name. A hat also labeled. The hat can be purchased from online as well. A packed lunch, or if you don't want to pack a lunch, you can also pre-order meals. That's also available for students at EYC. And then as well a snack. Snack is which they do at EYC in the nursery and reception. They do their rolling snack, which they have any time before 10 a.m. when they feel hungry. And then the lunchtime is at a set time where everybody sit down and do it at the same time. Right.
So yeah, we've already touched on respect and safety, but these are our behaviour, our rules, as we would say, and these are what really underpin our behaviour and values. And the aim of these is that we like to be really consistent across. We use these in main campus from early years all the way up to year 6, and we want to be very consistent in the language that we're using. So we have these are our 3 main rules, but we want to encourage students to be ready for their learning. And this really incorporates students developing independence. And even in early years, we will be encouraging this. And this is, a skill that we will be helping students to develop and helping your children to develop. So it's how we can work together to ensure that children are thinking about how they can be ready for their learning or ready to begin a variety of activities. And we'll talk a little bit later on about things that you can do to help your children at home to be ready, even at from the very earliest age. And respect is also a priority. So, we always say to our children, we treat others as we would like to be treated ourselves. So respectful is something that we will always encourage our children to be towards each other, towards other adults, towards everyone in our school community, and using respectful language at all times. So that again is something that we develop from the early years. And then being safe. It's so important that our children are aware of how they can be safe. They're keeping themselves safe, they're keeping each other safe, as well as us ensuring that they're in a safe environment. So these are our three main rules: being ready, respectful, and safe. And you'll hear these being mentioned a lot throughout their school career at Garden.
In the early years and primary as well, we use what's called the zones of regulation. And this all just comes back to the well-being of students again, and consistent language. And I think this is also a kind of a useful visual for you to have at home, because if you use the same kind of language at home that we use at school, that's just reinforcing what we're trying to achieve. We have a big focus on social and emotional learning at our school. Coming out of COVID and online learning, we've identified that is a real need for our students. We've had this in the past anyway, but this is we have a bigger focus on it. So this is the kind of language that we would use. So in the early years, for example, the students, when they come in the morning, when they register themselves, they will take their name and they will put it on one of these colors, or teachers have different ways in which they do this. But this is just for students to be able to, number one, identify their emotions. Because if you can identify your emotion, then the next step is to start regulating that emotion, right? So if I'm in the blue zone and I'm feeling a bit sick or a bit sad, and what can I do? What strategies can I use to get myself in the green zone, which I need to be in if I want to learn? So there's a link that we will share as well, a link on the parent portal with a whole set of slides explaining this, and some more videos as well if you are interested. But we will have some parent workshops on the zones of regulation quite soon as well, because it is a very useful tool in terms of social and emotional learning.
Okay, so keeping in touch, how we communicate. So we have lots of ways that we do communicate, and we share information with you. So we have our weekly newsletter, and we have newsletters for reception, nursery, year one, and all the year groups, and that's shared with families via our weekly whole school newsletter that comes out on a Friday. But they are also accessible through the parent portal. You'll be put in touch with, each class has a parent rep. So the parent reps will liaise with you with certain messages. Maybe the teacher has shared with the parent rep just to keep you informed about what's going on. Maybe if there's an event coming up and you need to bring something in, the parent reps will put something on the class WhatsApp. So we'll make sure that you've got that information, or the parent reps have got that information. We have PTCs, which are parent-teacher conferences, and they happen each half term, where you have the opportunity to meet with your child's class teacher to find out how they're getting on. It's an opportunity to have a discussion about things that are going well, and just the learning in general. We have parent workshops. So these happen on a weekly basis. So there are parent workshops that happen in EYC, and then which is usually on a Tuesday, and then parent workshops which are run from the main campus, which take place on a Wednesday. We share, we're very open to have communication via emails, and at the moment, I think because you're not able to come into school to meet teachers on a face-to-face basis, that's very important. So, we do have those open lines of communication, and would encourage you to get in touch with us, if you do have any questions or anything that you need to communicate, either to us or to the class teacher. We'll be talking you through ILD, which is an interactive learning diary, which is used for EYC, and Seesaw, which is used for year one. And we'll give you a little bit more information on that a little bit later on. And then we do have Miss V, she works in the office here at the EYC campus, who you can get in touch with urgent messages during the school day.
I think the last thing that we want to say, and that we do want to share with you, is just how you can support as a family. this transition of your child joining EYC or year one. And I mean, the power of positivity there is the most important thing. If you are going to be anxious, your child is going to pick up on that, and they will be anxious, right? And so it's really important that you are careful in what you say in front of your child and how you say it, and do be positive and get them excited about joining school tomorrow morning if they have to join. It's always good to, if you do your walkthrough this afternoon, see what are the things that they are interested in. If they go for the toy cars, then that's a conversation you can have tonight before you put them to bed. You can say, you know, that car that you played with today, you see that car? Tomorrow morning you must make sure that that's the first thing you go and get when you get into the unit, so that they can start looking forward to tomorrow morning. And then further to that, these are some signs that you might pick up if your child is a bit anxious or worried. They might be a bit reluctant to go to school, or they might refuse to go to school. That's just a bit of anxiety. There's increased clinginess in the morning, tearfulness, poor sleep the night before. They might have some temper tantrums on school mornings, or feeling sick, especially stomach aches, headaches, and other aches related to muscle tension. So this is common for children who are prone to being anxious. It's just good for you to realize that they are anxious because it's a change in their routine, right? It's something new. It's a change, and most of us get anxious when there are changes. So really important here then is just to then have that conversation with them and talk them through those emotions. So these are some things that you can do to support them in getting ready. Make sure that they know what to expect on that first day, and that's for us is the purpose of the walkthrough that they have in EYC. Then also know some things that they can play with. Like I said, when you do the walkthrough this afternoon, the EYC families, let them know that they are safe in school. Especially there might be children, if they are clued into COVID and clued into the dangers around it, make sure that they know that they'll be sanitizing their hands, they will be wearing their face masks. If they're thinking about other things, you can say there's 2 security guards there, the teachers will always have them in their sight. So, and then also make sure that they know who will pick them up at the end of the day. So if you leave them there in the morning, it's important to tell them, Daddy will pick you up this afternoon, and Mommy will pick you up this afternoon, and try to keep to that so that they know that that's something secure that they can do. Then also involve them in getting their uniform ready tonight, involve them in letting them pack their bag or prepare their lunch or snack for tomorrow. That also gets them excited. Then try to ensure early nights, like the hierarchy of needs that Ms. Tiffany shared earlier. It's really important that they get enough sleep before going to school the next morning, and then encourage them to be independent. Now, they don't really have a choice, and I told another teacher this morning, it's kind of a blessing in disguise, the fact that families are not allowed to come onto site, because the students are immediately independent, because they walk to class themselves, they unpack their bag themselves. Which in the past we've had families do that, and then it just takes students longer to settle. Is there anything you wanted to add, Ms. Tiffany?
No, I mean, I think that's the thing. It's just really that reassurance for them that, you know, the school, you know, there are lots of adults in school that are here to look after them and care for them and really want them to have the best possible time. So you know, this morning it was lovely seeing all the teachers, and the way that it was lovely, the children really enjoyed seeing their teachers after the holidays, and that's just the lovely relationship that we developed. So just, you know, reassure any students that are feeling a bit anxious that they, you know, they are going to really love it, and there's lots of people here to look after them and care for them.
Definitely. What we found in the past a lot is actually that the students in the first week are very excited to get to school, and it's in the second week when they start getting tearful and anxious, because it's like, you mean I need to come every day? So that was just a couple of days thing. So expect, if they don't have tears in the first week, there's a possibility that might happen later. But we also have ways to deal with that. If your child is anxious tomorrow morning at the gate when for EYC children, we will not spend too much time trying to let them calm down while you are there. So it might be that we take the child off you, take them to class, where they very quickly settle. If they don't, we will give you a call to come back and pick them up. So we also don't want them to have a horrible experience of their first day. But we found that spending too much time and trying to negotiate is not always the best way to go about it. Right. Do you have any questions at this point? I know we're far over time.
Yeah. Hi, hello. I'm not sure whether this was mentioned, but do the year 1 students have a buddy system in school?
Yes. Stephanie?
Yes, they do. Yeah. Yeah, the class teachers arrange for all the new students to have a buddy. Yeah, and they've already organised that for them. Yeah.
And the buddy will be a student from the same class, I assume?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and they'll be able to sort of, you know, they're there for them to help settle them in and show them. I mean, the teachers have done a walkthrough with children today to show them the different locations that they need to know, but their buddies will also be there for them as well.
Okay, because my child she won't be able to attend school this week. She only starts next week. So I just wanted to know if the buddy system runs for at least.
Yes, it will do. It will do, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, our year 1 students will have 2 transitions because they will have to transition back to main campus at some point this term as well. So they'll be transitioning a lot. Right. If there are no other questions, we will be sharing these slides. Like I said, I'm going to post them on the parent portal. So they will be available to you as well as a recording for this session. Right. Thank you so much for your time. We look forward to seeing you around. If I haven't seen you face to face yet, I'm looking forward to seeing you also.
Lovely to see you all this morning.
Bye-bye. Take good care.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.